And on this week's In Focus session, I wanted to discuss with you a few simple habits that you can put into your life to make sure that you have the best 2021 that you can have. And I know right now in the UK, we've just entered into a new lockdown for the foreseeable month or so. So I think that, this is a really great time and a really good opportunity to look inwards and to be introspective, considering especially that we're at the start of the year. I know it's a time of year where people are always trying to set goals and create manifestations and trying to outline some of the things they want to achieve throughout the year. So I think like having this time now, as we are in mid-January, to really reflect on how we want the year to look can really help us set some intentions and look to create some simple habits that can really help elevate whatever it is that you want to create in your life. From this could be a work goal or relationships or just being a better you or more self-love or, creating morning routines for yourself. Whatever your goals are for the year, I think by just having a few more positive habits in your life, it can really change a lot for you. And I know when it comes to me, especially, I like to kind of be a little bit loose on what my New Year's resolutions are. I don't like to be too strict in terms of like setting really outlined goals. I like to keep them really loose because I always feel that throughout the year, my goals and the things that I want to achieve along those kind of shift and change as things happen. And I think particularly, with the year that we had last year and the way that the beginning of this year is certainly going to play out, there's still a lot of uncertainty in our lives. So I think sometimes being a bit looser on what it is that you want to get from the year can really benefit you because it allows you to adapt and be dynamic around them. So I wanted to, like I said, break down a few things, a few simple habits that can really be life-changing for you if you're willing to implement them throughout this year and, going on throughout your life. And these are things that I've really, implemented in my life throughout the previous years and I try to do every year. And I particularly want to focus on this year. So the first one really is to have more fun and enjoyment in my life. And I think that, we think of fun as like, having to go on this amazing holiday or having to like have this really fun night out, having a few drinks with our friends or like, just this big, massive accomplishment, right? But it's a very funny thing because like when we were kids, like fun had a whole different role to us. Like fun was just like going out in the garden with a couple of sticks and maybe a football or, a couple of jumpers and putting them down and making goals, or like sword fighting with sticks, or like just running around or cycling in the park, or just being with your friends and coming up with all these crazy games and ideas. Like that was fun to us. And I think we've kind of lost that a little as we get older. So to me, creating more fun in day-to-day life is a real key element in terms of like creating a habit that is going to change your life. Because when you put more fun into your life, the day-to-day tasks that we see as mundane all of a sudden become really enjoyable. So let's take cooking, for example, right? If you start cooking with a bit more fun and expression, all of a sudden, like finishing work and like, switching off for the day and then having to go in the kitchen and pull some stuff out the fridge and put together a dinner, it seems like a bit of a slog when you look at it that way, right? But if you start to look at it as something that's fun and like try and experiment in different flavors and different vegetables with different meats or different, sides or whatever it is, and you start to really experiment, like that whole process, put some tunes on while you're cooking, like create a bit of a fun vibe while you're doing it, that whole element of cooking changes in your mind. And to me, it's like when you start to include and have more fun and enjoyment in just day-to-day things in your life, what it does is it breeds more positivity in you. And when you really breed and like nurture that positivity within you, that starts to shine out of you. That starts to shine outwards and starts to show itself in every other area of your life. So you can just take one small area, like the cooking example, to have more fun. But once you start to cultivate that positivity and that fun and that enjoyment, that will then spread into all the other areas of your life, like at work or with your friends or family or kids if you have kids. And it's like it really starts to shine outwards from you. So looking to find more ways to have fun in your day-to-day life is a really, really big element. It's like for me, I'll look at things like, can I go out on a walk? I find that fun. Can I try something that is fun for me? Like I'm trying to learn Italian at the minute. Like I find that fun. If I see the fun in the things that I'm trying to do, the positivity naturally gets drawn out of me. And then the second thing, which kind of leads on really well, it actually is more about gratitude. It's like, the more gratitude you can show in your life, the better your life is. As simple as, right? Because we live a lot of our lives not being grateful for so many things. Like if you're listening to this podcast right now, you already have so many things to be grateful for, right? First of all, you can hear this podcast. Secondly, you probably have some sort of smart device, be it a laptop, be it a phone that you can hear, right? You've probably got a set of headphones. You can be grateful for those, right? You're alive. You can be grateful for that. You're experiencing this day in this moment. You can be grateful for that. You're probably driving or walking or exercising right now. You can be grateful for that. That there's so many things in our lives that are just everyday occurrences that we can be really grateful for. And once we start to really be grateful for those small things, we start to express a lot more love and compassion. And it's like, for me, I went through a lot of my life always just trying to like experience like these big moments of gratitude and like being really thankful when things seemed really great. But it's actually on the days where things seem a little bit slower and a little bit harder where gratitude really plays its role. Because when you look and learn to be grateful for the things on the days that aren't so good, then the days that are really good, the gratitude increases. Like the sense of gratitude you have on those days increases. And it's like, I used to do this really simple practice. And, a lot of people would have heard me talk about the 1% rule. And one of the things that I really started to do on the 1% rule, which is essentially looking for small things every day that can improve your life. Like little 1% every day, little 1% wins that can help improve your life. And one of those things for me when I started was to find things to be grateful for. And again, this doesn't have to be, I'm really grateful for all of the money I made this month, or I'm really grateful for having the perfect partner in my life. It can literally be, I'm grateful for the cup of tea I had in the morning. I'm grateful that my body allowed me to get out of bed today. I'm grateful for that conversation with a friend. I'm grateful for the glass of water I've had. I'm grateful for the short walk I went on. I'm grateful for being able to see someone I love every morning, or I'm grateful for the partner or my family or my friends, whatever it may be. I'm grateful for cuddles with my pet. It can literally be the smallest thing, but the more that you kind of train your brain to see the things in your day-to-day life to be grateful for, the more your brain will subconsciously do those things. And it's like anything. It's like working out. It's like you can't just go to the gym and do one bicep curl and expect your bicep to grow, right? Or do one squat and expect your legs and your butt to look great, right? You have to do these things consistently. You have to train that muscle. And it's the same with gratitude. You have to train that gratitude muscle so that as you go through your life day to day, your brain will automatically start to signal and pick up on things that you are grateful for. And again, it can just be the smallest things. But if that seems very overwhelming, just start with the 1%. What's the 1% thing, the really small, tiny thing that you can be grateful for every day? Like I could say right now, I'm grateful for the plant that I have behind me. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. And I'm grateful for you for listening to this right now. 3 simple things off the top of my head. And we can do that every day. And if it's something that you struggle with, then just take time each evening to either write it down or just say to yourself in your head, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for today? Write those things down or mentally take note of them. And if you do that consistently over the course of a week, 10 days, a month, 3 months, 6 months, you'll see a massive shift in your life. Because like I said, when you start to become more grateful for things that you already have in your life, you start to express a lot more love and compassion. And when you start to express a lot more love and compassion, you'll be very surprised at how much love and compassion comes back to you via the world around you, via other people, via the universe, or God, or whatever you want to call it. You'll be very surprised at how much comes back to you when you start to live from that place of gratitude and love and compassion. And then the final thing, and the final habit that is going to really create a life-changing year for you in 2021 is to let go of the stories, ideas, and concepts that you already have about yourself and about life and about the people around you. And the reason I say this is because we carry so many stories with us, right? We carry so many. Like our life is basically experienced through the stories that we tell ourselves in our head. And when you start to recognize that these stories are there and that they're taking place in your life, you start to recognize that actually I don't need these stories. And this can be anything. This can be a story from like, I'm lazy. Like if you tell yourself you're lazy, that is a story that you have told yourself, that you have learned somewhere along the line to tell yourself that you are lazy, and now you believe it. It could be that I'm not good at my job, or I'm not a great partner, or I don't know how to express myself, or it could even be stories that you have about other people, like my parents are really hard on me, or my friend is really mean because they take the piss, or my partner is the best person I've ever met in my life. All of those things are just stories that we carry that then create our experience of the life we have. And if you really want to live presently, if you really want to be in the moment, if you really want to experience the beauty of life in every moment, you have to let go of those stories. You have to let go of those ideas and those concepts that you have. Because when you do, it creates a new perspective for you to live your life through. And a really classic example of that is that when you go on holiday, or you go to a new country, or even a new city, or anywhere that's new, you have this clear lens on that place. You don't have any expectation or any idea or any story of what that place is going to be like. So you automatically start to experience that place for all of its beauty and wonder. You could just be walking down a simple shopping street or a simple urban street and just be looking at a building thinking like, wow, this street is stunning. But how many times have you done that in the streets that you live in? Not often, because you carry the stories around of like what those streets mean to you and what the area means. But when you're somewhere new, you don't have those stories, you don't have those ideas. So you're able to see that place as a brand new place with all of its beauty from a new perspective through a clear lens that you have. So when it comes to letting go of stories, first of all, it's about recognizing that the story is there, accepting what that story is in that moment, and then letting it go so that you can experience a new perspective around what that is. And when you learn to kind of let go of the stories that you have in your life about yourself, you free yourself up to experience such a different idea of life. An example for me is like when I was very depressed, like my story was, I am a depressed person. I'm a depressed guy. Like I'm not that fun to be around. I don't really have that much fun doing anything. But once I decided, actually, like, I don't want to live my life like that, and drop that story almost in like an instant, like a click of the fingers, what happened for me was I was then able to experience my life in a different way. I was able to experience life from a sense of freedom, from a sense of clarity, from a sense of being able to have more fun, to go back to the original point, being able to express more gratitude for the things that I already had in my life. Like those stories are the things that more often than not are holding us back from experiencing what it is that we want to experience from life. So when you can let go of those stories, you can really open yourself up to those new perspectives and those new experiences and that new way of living for yourself. So I hope that this has been a helpful episode for you. If it has, let me know what you've learned from this episode. Let me know if any of the 3 points that I've spoken through, having more fun, being more grateful, and letting go of stories, let me know which one of those you would really like to put some focus on this year. And I'd also like to know what are some of the goals that you want to manifest for yourself this year. So to let me know, if you're watching this, just drop something down in the comments below, or if you're listening via the podcast, then hit me up on Instagram at @IamAlexManzi. Let me know which one of the 3 points and the 3 habits you would really like to kind of cultivate for yourself this year, and let me know what you want to manifest from this year.